Welcome to TradeTheNBI.com. This is John's reported for the 27th. Well, there you go. More new highs. No shock. I mean, cyan's still under red, green over cyan. Still haven't gotten the orange DOC in between cyan and red because there really just isn't enough space yet. But uh, it was a short-term buyer move here on the DOC steel moving above that negative 13, which was a clear indication to us that we were going to get more of this continuation to the upside. And uh, it's all pretty clean. Pre-market right now also producing quite a return, plus 30 at this particular stage. From an NQ standpoint, you see in the pre-market, NQ still underperforming relative to the S&P, but it was a nice boost to start the day off. From a treasury standpoint, no real activity per se. This idea that this discounting of where the Fed will have to be as far as cutting rates, it still continues to get undermined because as we look at oil um, continuing to rise and to the point now where you're about to break up towards the upside of that. Uh, well, just right about 80, and at that particular point, everyone's going to be looking back at another run of inflation and or at least elevated prices. That's going to make it hard for the Fed to do anything other than what it's continuing to do. And should that hang around for any length of time, that's going to continue to be problematic from that construct. But uh, this is that idea that you can pre-guess where the Fed's going to go doesn't always work out. Sometimes taking them for what their word is, as well as what you're seeing from an economic standpoint, reality does sit in. The euro, after filling back into the positive extremes, beginning its little pop back up. So again, it's one of those where it's just a continuation of looking for mismatch of trades. Everyone thought everything was going up, then they thought it was going to go to zero, and you can take advantage of that situation again. And it's enough to keep them in that elevated stance, which I think, from their standpoint, anything above that 109 to that 111 range really is helpful. Despite what we know about European banks and the situation there with loan demand, and that is just horrible. From a gold standpoint, making a move back up, and we figured that that would trail what oil's doing. And the further oil goes, at some point we'll probably see a significant spike in gold as it just trails, waiting for clear evidence of it. From a Bitcoin standpoint, not a whole lot. Just a little pop back up here. Finally got the crossover from a buy configuration, but uh, the crypto space has been a little bit soft in this period, as you can see, for the last several months. Literally flatline and not really giving a whole lot of indication that anything new is going to go. From a 50K standpoint, we had the dip, and then boom, you can see some of this wild movement back and forth with the general spike that we're seeing here in the pre-market. And then from a 5K standpoint, this is how it looked. We started the early morning back over here. Everything was relatively flat. And then boom, and complete fill. So, talk about getting whipsawed back and forth. And then it just led to a late afternoon push right back up. And then that's where they took advantage of it here in the post market, and literally just been a constant acceleration since the post market began. And this is where we're at this particular stage. If my screen can catch up, there you see it. Early morning hours, big jump, boost, and there you have it. Nice spike. Quarter got in the way there. So that's where we're at pre-market, and I would suspect that a good portion of this can hold on for a little bit, but we do have positive extremes beginning from the breakout. So that leaves a little bit around that 46.10 range. And the fact that we're at the 46.23, that breakout above the, zero line usually gets you into that 23 to 39 range. And then you get some kind of fill back into it. So that's just a practical element from it. As always, though, continue to look for me on the Skype chat. Trade well. We'll talk in there.